I'm sitting here in the cab with Brad Castle. Brad is in charge of ADTs for the global market, actually. And I don't know what your official title is, Brad. What's your official title?
Global ADT Product Manager.
Well, that sounds more official than what I just said, so that's good. Brad and I go back quite a ways. We've done some video stuff together in the past at some of these different training events and whatnot. And we just made our rounds going around with some of our salesmen to get their input and their perceptions about the Bell trucks and the support that Bell provides to us and to our customers. But I'm going to give this a run here at the Bell Truck Training in Florida, and we're going to run around and be loaded and then go dump the truck and then bring it back. And as we do that, we'll go through some of the features and functions and just kind of get Brad's opinion of some of the new things that these 3.5, what they call PIN 3.5, which is the version of the Bell Truck series that we're sitting in right now, have on them some of the things that have changed and improved. So with that, Brad, just kind of walk me through, and I know how to do this, but kind of give me the top level view of how we would go about starting the truck, okay?
Okay, so to get the truck turned on, not switched on, you'll just basically hit the green button once, and the truck will kind of wake up, and you'll then be required to put in a driver ID code, which the standard code from the factory is the last 4 digits of the vehicle identification number, which you'll find on a plate here in the back of the cab.
So that is 1002?
Correct.
So we would find, where's the 0? I don't see the 0. Okay, 002. All right, we got that figured out.
Okay, so now the truck's ready to start. It's automated start, so it will just be cranked by pushing the green button once again. And now the truck's obviously running. You can feel the AC working, and you'll notice that your park brake is engaged by the red P on the screen. And to release that park brake, you have to use the red P on the SSM, which is your sealed switch module. And you can keep your foot off the brake, and you'll notice as you release it, your auto park brake comes on the screen. So that is also known as your neutral park brake. So whenever the truck is put into neutral, that will come on to avoid any potential rollback. And to release the automatic park brake, you just engage drive or reverse, and the minute you press the accelerator and there's enough torque to pull away without moving the truck uncontrollably, it will release and you can drive on.
That's a really nice feature. And when you're on a hill, they actually call that hill hold and hill assist. So it's the same principle on a hill. If you happen to be stopped on a hill, your park brake automatically engages. You won't roll back and hit any trucks that might be coming up behind you. And in order to pull away, you've got to generate enough torque by accelerating to be able to exceed the amount of torque needed to move the truck and overpass the park brake, right?
Exactly. So we're constantly measuring the roll and the pitch of the truck, which is basically your up-down angle of the truck as a whole and your left-right angle. So that would use that as part of the calculation to work out your angle and how much torque is needed to pull away without rolling back. So that also takes that into account.
Okay, well then I guess without further ado, we'll hit the drive button. You know what the global product manager for ADTs is telling me is you better put your seatbelt on, fool. So we're going to do that right now. Of course, you need to have your seatbelt on before pulling away, have all your safety gear in place. You will have done your pre-check inspection for the day, which means that you've gone around, you've checked all your fluids, you've made sure there's no debris under the truck, you've checked your lights, everything's in good working order, no leaks, nothing, and you're ready to go to work. And I will say, in terms of cab, creatures, and comforts, you've heard that over and over again from our salespeople, but it really is no lie. This is it's got a Mercedes engine. This is a Mercedes cab, even though it's not. It's built by Bell, but it is super high quality and very, very comfortable. The fit and finish in it is just amazing. So.
Well, the fact that you're holding the camera in your left hand and you only need one hand to control the keypad is also an advantage because you don't have to have any controls on the left-hand side. So it's all on the right-hand side at an easy grabbing area.
Well, I'm going to turn camera duty over to you, and I'm going to hit drive. Well, we've hit drive. Now I'm going to release the brake, and we're going to start generating enough torque to pull away, and here we go. Now, one thing, I'm going to stop up here for a second just to adjust the steering column and steering wheel to my liking. So I'm going to pull to a stop here just real quick. Okay, and I can actually scope and telescope the steering wheel, which for me I wanted a little bit lower than that, and I have the ability to adjust the tilt just like that. So now I'm in a real good, comfortable, ergonomic position, and I'm ready to go. And I haven't done this route yet, so you're going to have to teach me how to do this, okay? All right, here we go.
And you'll notice that we unloaded, so the truck's pulling off in second gear. That helps with comfort and also fuel saving because you're not using an inefficient first gear when it's not required.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, Brad. How'd you get started with Bell Trucks?
So I started in 2011 as a sales rep for Bell Equipment in Zambia, which is it's a country, 2 countries north of South Africa, which is where Bell's head office is. I started there as a trainee sales rep, and then I made my way up to a fully fledged sales rep, and then I did a stint as a dealer manager. For South America and East Africa, and then I took on a role at the factory as the Northern Hemisphere ADT product marketing manager.
Awesome.
And then from there I moved to the US, and I was based in North Carolina as the dealer manager for Canada, and then also on the product marketing side for the USA.
Awesome.
And then I currently moved in April to the United Kingdom, where I'm now a bit more central for covering my global role, which I'm supporting the sales operations around the world through either Bell subsidiaries or Bell distributors.
And your brother works for us too, right? He works for Bell?
He's been with Bell, I want to say 23 years now. He's on the technical side. He's just currently a factory technical analyst. So he's basically the link on the technical side between the machine on the ground and the engineering department. On that way and head down towards the excavator in the pit, and we'll put some rock in the back.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about this new version of the Bell trucks, the PIN 3.5, and some of the things that you've noticed both from a service interval standpoint and maybe the SSM keypad and other things that stand out that have been changed and improved.
So we used to run a 25 button SSM on the sealed switch model. And on the PIN 3.4 truck, we went to it's basically a 30 button, but it's 2 15 button SSMs together, and that's just allowed us to add some extra features onto the SSM at the touch of the operator's hand. So you now have 5 more buttons, which in essence have given us 5 more features, namely your manual regen on and off, your speed control settings on a separate button for ease of access. And the biggest change that we've now seen on the PIN 3.5 is that previously we used to have to do a 100-hour service on all of the trucks, and then it would go from then to 500 and then 500 intervals from then on. So on the PIN 3.5 now, we've eliminated the 100-hour service at the beginning, and we start with the 500-hour service.
That's awesome. That's a big savings for us and for the customer.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's been the PIN 3.5 truck started arriving towards the end of last year, and the guys are really enjoying the advantages of not having that first service at 100 hours.
That's great.
So when you go down the hill here, you can actually take your foot off the accelerator, and what will happen
use the retarders?
It will be automatic.
So the retarder level, though, I need to apply, correct?
Yeah, so when all the LEDs are off, it's automatic. It will choose how harsh it needs to kick in for you.
Oh, okay, that is a new feature.
But when you're coming on the downhill and you've got your foot on the accelerator, when you remove it, it will record the speed that was at that time you removed your foot, and it will use the engine braking and in this case the wet brake retardation on the B30 to maintain that speed for you.
Wow.
So that's a very nice feature to give some confidence to the operator, whereas he's loaded going on a decline, he just has to steer where the truck's going and to automatically keep him at a comfortable
So that
speed.
is a new feature, because my understanding is on the previous trucks, I think when all the lights were not illuminated, you had about 15% brake retardation. Is that correct?
Yeah. So that was a lot of a slower engagement. So if you were fully loaded on a decline, you might feel a bit of a run before it actually kicked in. But now what the truck does is it actually notices the angle you're on, and it will then automatically put the harshness of the retarder. You'll see the lights moving up and down. It will be using certain percentages on it.
So the accelerometer is the same sensors that are being utilized to probably better stop here.
Yeah, you good, yeah.
The same sensors that are utilized to determine the roll and pitch of the truck that are used in the safety feature that's known as tip safe are also used now for the automatic retarder system.
Absolutely, yeah. And just talking about sort of inclines and declines, the Allison transmission now also has fuel sense calibration. It's a couple pins old, but it's worthwhile talking about because that actually adapts to the profile of the haul road. So if you're on a decline, it changes gears a lot quicker.
Wow.
So save fuel, obviously, and then on the incline it will hold the gears for a bit longer to keep your momentum and your performance. So what that Allison fuel sense calibration has actually done is it's given more comfort to the operator. It puts you in the correct gear at the right time, and it also saves on fuel.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So we are sitting here getting ready to get loaded by one of the Hyundais that works out here at this particular mine site. This is a good customer of ours. We had to go through all the training necessary for us to be on this site and work on this site. As soon as they get this other truck loaded, they're going to load us. Now, one of the things that customers like about these trucks that I know I've brought to their attention, or I've heard about, is the onboard weigh scale that's in here. It's very, very accurate. I think that it's a combination of strain gauges at both the walking beams and also at the articulation joint. Is that correct?
Correct. So our previous series truck, we only measured on the left and right walking beam, but what happens on the truck is when the bed gets loaded, you get weight transfer coming to the front of the truck.
Yeah.
And the most accurate way to calculate that weight transfer was by putting an additional third strain gauge on the articulation joint. So now we're monitoring the weight basically in a triangle versus just across. So we've got a very accurate system that calculates all the weight going through and the weight transfer going through the front of the truck.
Excellent. I'm going to transfer the camera back to you, let you continue to record, and then I'm going to pull up here next to this excavator and let him load us out. So if I didn't mention it earlier, we're in a B30E, which is a 30-ton truck with a cubic yard capacity heaped of, where are we at on that, 23, 24 cubic yards?
Yep.
Where do you think I need to pull up?
He should give you a honk when we, because I think a little bit forward we should do that.
And we're stopped.
Yeah.
No honk.
And with the onboard weighing, so if you want to turn the toggle on the STC to the turn it across, we can open up. Yeah, you just rotate it.
Yeah.
If we go across to the payload, which will be further next one after that. Yep. Yeah. So now we'll be able to watch the tonnage go up while he's loading us, and then that may change slightly while we're moving because it is dynamic. So with the truck turning or moving, the weight is moving around a bit, but the recorded weight is at the dump site, because normally when you're at a dump site it's flat and you're stationary, so that will be your most accurate point to calculate the actual payload at that time. So that will be the recorded payload for that specific cycle will be at the dump site.
So do you have the ability to change it from metric tons to US tons to pounds?
Not on the CDU, no. That will just show as shows your metric ton. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So it's in the readout's always in metric tons.
Metric tons, correct.
Gotcha. Pretty slick.
So this material does seem to be a bit light because we do get a good load in, but we don't reach the target payload. So this looks like it's some sort of a shale material. So it's definitely light.
Shell. It's definitely shell. Shell and some limestone probably. Focus of some of the material and get loaded.
It's getting some good loads in there.
Yep. Right now we're at 14.8 tons, 15 tons. Good operator. I will say, comfort-wise, this is absolutely bar none the best heavy equipment seat I've ever been in. It's so comfortable. Very thick.
I'm enjoying the AC at the moment. It's pretty warm out here.
And we're going to talk about some other features. One thing that I think really stands out with the Bell trucks are both the safety features, which we're going to end up having to utilize here in just a second. So as it relates to being able to dump the bin, this has a feature called iTip. iTip uses those same accelerometers that are determining the roll and pitch of the truck. And I think the default, correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, is maybe 15% of grade. Won't allow you to dump the bin if you exceed 15%. That's the default from the factory?
Correct, and that's the standard setting, and the reason we do that is due to the truck oscillating. The operator could be sitting on a flat surface, but the rear chassis could be at an angle and he won't feel it because he's sitting flat. So with this feature, if the bed's at an angle of 15 or more at the rear and he doesn't know, it won't let him dump the bed. So before we get to the RTIP feature, I would like you to take your foot off the accelerator now while we're climbing. So we're climbing the heel loaded.
So I haven't depressed the brake. It automatically goes to neutral, which automatically applies to park brake, and I haven't slid back, not even one iota. So if I had a truck behind me, you don't have to worry about damaging the front end of the truck behind me.
There's absolutely no rollback, and that was a fully loaded bed, and that you didn't have to touch anything. So there's no intervention required by the operator from that point of view. And what's happening now is the accelerometers are calculating the angle that we're at and how much torque is needed to pull away without rolling back. So all you'll need to do is press your accelerator pedal, and before the track is, and there you pulled off without any rollback.
Wow, that's amazing. That is a really, really nice safety feature. As we get closer to where we're going to dump, am I taking a left or a right?
You're going to take a left.
As we get closer to where we're actually going to dump this load, we'll talk about a feature known as iTip. And iTip is an automatic dump mode that automatically, when applied, it automatically increases and revs your engine RPM. It applies your neutral park brake, puts the machine into neutral, applies the park brake, increases your engine RPM, and raises the VIN with the touch of one button, which is a really nice feature. How do we really go around this pile?
Yeah, you can just go around and cut through the middle, then we'll go dump on the side.
It just saves a ton of time. I've been on other trucks that don't have that feature. From a fatigue and a convenience standpoint and productivity standpoint, it's really nice.
You can see the trucks have been working this morning. These mountains are growing.
Sorry, I drive like a grandpa.
Because you're so comfortable, you just want to take it easy.
That's right. I just want to lay back and enjoy life.
So we could just go forward and back up into this indented pile here. Yeah, I'll go straight into that gap there. It looks like it was made for us.
Yeah, perfect. All right. And one nice thing is these trucks all come with a standard, very viewable and easy to see backup camera, which is actually easy to see even in dark or in poor lighting conditions. So now we're going to put it into, do we need to hit neutral first?
You can just go straight into reverse.
Go straight into reverse.
The screen.
And now the screen, as you can see, I don't know if you can point it to the screen there, Brad. The screen goes to a full screen for our backup, and you can see the visibility is just phenomenal. It's easy to see, even in high sunlight conditions. So now we're going to back up.
And you'll see in the bottom right, that's your pitch angle, or your roll angle, and the pitch angle. So that's what will go red if you're over 15%. So you can just back up, and then you won't have to engage neutral or the park brake. When you're ready to dump, you can just hit the up button and it will automatically do all that for you. And it will dump the bed up to 100%.
The key is you got to remember you're not pulling a trailer here. You feel like you are at first, right? But it's definitely not like backing a trailer in. It's a whole lot easier than that. All right. What have I done wrong here?
You're good there.
Good?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm way
You're a bit of an angle, but you're fine. Yeah, that's perfect. So if you hit the bed up button once
so now I'm just going to, if you'll focus on the SSM keypad here, I'll take over. So I'm just going to hit this button.
Below, yeah, that one.
So this is my iTip button. I'm in soft stop mode with iTip, meaning that it's going to apply the neutral, it's going to apply the park brake, it's going to rev my engine RPM so that when I'm ready to bend up with this button, it'll do it automatically. So as you can see, I'm going to hit that button. Neutral's automatically applied, park brake's automatically applied, engine RPM without touching the pedal is going. Our bed is dumping. And I'm in a safe working condition. Okay? So once I've done that, the nice thing about the bell, and maybe you can add some to this, Brad, is I can actually pull away and it limits me to first gear as I'm pulling away as the bed under its own gravity starts to lower. So it does limit my speed, I think, but I have the ability to pull away as the bed is lowering.
Correct. So you'll have to engage drive now because obviously with the RTIP it put you in neutral. So you'll pull away now and you'll see there'll be an amber flashing light on the CDU showing you that the bed is up.
Here, you control that. Yep.
And then
now I can hit down?
Yeah, hit down once and it will automatically drop the bed.
Yeah.
And you'll be limited to first gear.
Okay.
But as soon as the bed's at a safe angle, you'll feel the truck kick back in and change to second gear.
And then you get back down where we were. Get back down there. Back here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see what it is. Awesome. These are great trucks. They really are. And they're, you know, we do a good job at training our customers when we deliver new trucks. Sometimes you have an inexperienced operator getting in these, and so we really feel the training is very important to make sure that they're, one, safe, and two, using all the productivity enhancements and features of these trucks so that they do what they're meant to do and do it at the highest level of productivity that's available.
And that's the reason why we have a lot of these automated features on the truck, is to keep the operator safe and to keep the truck running at its optimum condition.
Brad, I appreciate you taking a few minutes with us. If you're interested in anything to do with belt trucks, we're the largest belt truck dealer in the nation. You can reach out to us at nedealers.com. That's www.nedealers.com. And you can select Ask Ned, where you can request a quote, request additional information, put in a service request, ask for parts. All of that information is available through our website. And we'd love to work with you on belt trucks. Great product. We keep these in our rental fleet and we sell them. And thank you for taking a few minutes with us, and thank you for taking some time with me, Brad.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right, so then now, do I have to hit neutral?
You hit neutral and the auto park brake will come on. But then normally if you're going to exit the truck, I like to engage the physical park brake.
Okay.
And then if you want to shut down the truck, you've got your small stop button next to the green button. So if you hit that once, it'll do automatic turbo spin down, which is another automated feature to keep the truck running at an optimum condition.
And you can see you do not want to cancel this turbo spin down procedure. You want to let it do that. It cools itself down. Automatically it's siphoning out the DEF fluid from the DEF lines. You can turn the battery disconnect switch off on these new trucks and it's not an issue, is that correct?
Yeah, so we've got a little LED above the battery oscillator switch, which once that is put in the off position, the LED light stays on, showing that there's still power being held to the truck. And what that will do is it will allow the controllers to shut down correctly, and then also the post run on the DEF system to avoid any freezing of lines, which the lines are heated as well, so that's an extra measure just to make sure there isn't a forced shutdown on the
Awesome. Well, we're going to get on with the rest of our training, get on some other trucks, get on the Fiore product, and eat a little lunch. And we've got a full day of training packed for us, planned for us throughout this day. So thank you for spending a few minutes with us. We hope you learned a little bit about the belt trucks. Reach out to us again on our website, and we'll see you soon.